So I have spoken to you about intuition and how to pay attention, and the fact that it's very important to follow our heart and pay attention to our inner voice. One other thing I like to talk about, that a lot of people ask me questions from all over the world, that how to identify and find the right teacher. This is very important because there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of teachers out there, and there's a lot of books, and with the expansion of the internet, we have access to a lot of resources, and this is different than 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago for a lot of seekers who started it around that time, including myself, that spiritual bookstores were a source to go and get some information. There weren't a big flow of different teachers. There wasn't a big awakening across the planet, and there were a handful of spiritual teachers at that time, and we didn't have access to so much information as we do today. And this also can be, it's a blessing, and it can also, in a way, it's a problem, because there's so much information coming from so many different people, so many schools of thoughts, philosophy, religious or spiritual, and it's very confusing for a lot of people. And especially the newcomers and the ones who are just being called through their inner voice, and they're just being pulled into the spiritual world, and they're coming after the spirit. So have a lot of people asking me, how do I find the right teacher? Who's the right one for me, and what's the right teaching? And can I get trapped into the fake guru thing, and are there fake gurus out there, fake teachers? Well, I must say, like anything else, we have in the spiritual world, spiritual market, we have all kinds of different teachers. We have the real ones, we have the fake ones. However, that doesn't mean that we can't learn from any of them. And also, go back to one thing, is we initially need to develop and listen to our intuition and follow our heart, and just go where our heart desires and says that's the right place to go to. And you may just come, for instance, to a teacher in an ashram or wherever, and you've read books about this person, or you've heard about this person, and finally when you get to him or her, and you're in their presence, and after a short period of time you may feel like this person is not for you. And some of you may just stick around because you're being peer pressured, feeling like you have to be there, or if you leave your practice, then you're a failure. If that's the case, and you are there, and and things don't feel right for you, my suggestion is to move on. Be courageous, and no matter how much pressure it's going to be on you, just keep going. And your heart, when you have a desire for freedom, your heart will set you free. Your heart will get you to the next teacher or the right teacher. Are you the type who likes bhakti, who's into kirtans, who's into worship, and it's more of an emotional thing, and you like to be singing devotional songs, and you're pulled into that world? Are you more into practice? You're the type of person who needs practices, and you want a kind of a guru or a teacher who's going to give you a set of rules and practices that you need to do. Are you the type that is more into Advaita Vedanta? It's more of an intellectual and questioning type of a path that dissect things through the intellect. You just kind of need to find what really feels right for you, and in the meantime, not to be afraid of moving on. You don't have to be stuck in a situation because you're in this ashram, because your boyfriend has a very strong connection with this guru and you have to stick around, or your girlfriend really wants to do this and you go with her to this teacher. Maybe that teacher is for her, but it's not for you. Just because, also keep in mind that just because a teacher is not for you, that doesn't mean they're fake or they're real. It's a very, very personal experience. It's very, very much one-on-one. Even though some of the teachers are not accessible and you may not be able to spend time with them, and they're sitting there giving their satsang, their talk, and there's a lot of people around them and you have a hard time to get close to them. But it's still, their teaching is very one-on-one. It's a very personal journey. And what is right for you sitting here may not be right for the person next to you. So you need to kind of navigate and poke around, check out different teachers. Don't be afraid. Let's say even if you find a guru that you feel like this is your guru, don't be afraid and don't have these kind of guilt trips that you're checking out other teachers. Go check out different teachers. It's a very, very healthy thing to do. Look into other teachings. Read different books. Check them out. Just check them out. There's a big variety of different kind of way of thinking and spiritual methods, spiritual groups. And go check it out and see where your resonance is. What do you resonate mostly with? What really calls you? And you will find that. But don't stick around to one set of group if you don't feel like it's satisfying you and answering your questions. Don't hang in there because the group is putting you under pressure, or it's bad if you leave, or you have betrayed your teacher or your guru. Sometimes you outgrow certain teachings. Sometimes you following one certain path and then after a while it's over. You have completed your mission and now you need to move on to the next. So put this thing out of your mind that you're betraying your guru. If your guru is a real teacher, if it's an awakened teacher, then has no attachment in you hanging in there or not. They're very happy to let you go. I can speak of personal experience of coming across Punjaji in Lucknow in 1992, is also known as Papaji. And he was truly one of the greatest masters that I came across. And it was very clear there was absolutely no attachments as far as him wanting to have us hanging in there and worshiping him. He did not care. When people would bring it up to him, at that time a lot of people were going from Lucknow, northern India, to go see Amaji at her ashram, and her ashram was not very big, and she wasn't very famous all over the West as she is today. And so a lot of people would go back and forth from Papaji's ashram down to her ashram, and they would tell Papaji that they're going down there to see Amma, and Papaji was always very happy. He was always encouraging you to go and see Ammaji and see other teachers. It's it's a very healthy sign on your path to look into different teachings and poke around and look around and see what really feels right for you, what feels right here. Namaste.